What's up, guys? It's Drew Man Fishing. I am back. So I have been gone for a little bit. My dad and I have been gone. I've been fishing 2 or 3 times since I last saw you guys. As you know, it's winter right now. It's slow, but you can catch them. Today, we're going to be talking about a few things. The first thing we're going to be talking about is fishing in the winter time. So the winter is my least favorite time. The fish are slow, the water is cold, it's just cold outside, it's hard to feel your line because your hands are cold, and the fish are deep, and you have to pay attention to everything to catch them well. The first thing I'm going to be talking about is line. So, my dad and I, when we started fishing, we didn't really pay attention to line. We fished whatever, one rod with 15-pound mono on it, and that's all we'd fish. And now that we've gotten really into fishing, and we've been fishing Castaic for a year and a half now, we've really been paying attention to our line. When we first got this rod, we would just make fun of this thing. It was like a little, looks like a little bluegill rod, but since we've been starting to pay attention to line, this is my dad's secret weapon. This has 4-pound test on it. 4-pound test. When we started fishing, we'd be like, what are you doing? My dad has been fishing this thing, and he has been catching more fish than me. Some people say the fish aren't line shy. I really think that they are. My rod that I've been using, it's had full, just 8-pound fluoro, and I thought that was the lightest line ever. And now what I've done with this rod is I put on red 30-pound test braid, but it's about a 10-foot leader of 4-pound fluoro. I don't know if you can see that. And at the start, I was not very confident in this rod because I didn't want fish seeing the braid. It's super bright, but it's really useful because you can see it in the water, and I think it's worth having the leader on there. So to wrap that up, I want to say that the lighter the line, the more bites you're going to get. That's just what I think. That's my opinion. And at Castaic, I think it really matters because all the pressure at the lake. So I would just try to go as finesse as possible in the winter. Okay, let's talk about baits in the winter. This year we've really figured out the baits in the winter. In my opinion, the 2 most productive baits are the drop shot and the Ned rig. Well, you already know about the drop shot most likely. The drop shot, it's just an all-around killer bait. It can catch fish on the hottest day in the summer and the coldest day in the winter. How I do it, I just kind of drag it along the bottom slow, feel those rocks or whatever you're fishing on, and just bump it across until a fish comes and bites. And they're the 2 colors that I have most confidence in. The first one is Morning Dawn. It's a very pink color, made by RoboWorm. I like the 4-inch, 4.5-inch. The second color that I have confidence in is the Margarita Mutilator. This bait, this color, I feel like is kind of, it's not as popular at Castaic than the Morning Dawn, but I feel like it produces maybe even more fish than the Morning Dawn. And it's like a purple with a little bit of brown. It's just a great around bait. The second bait that produces fish in Castaic is kind of, I wouldn't call it my secret weapon, but it doesn't get fished nearly as much as the drop shot. It's the Ned rig. It looks like nothing, but if you haven't tried this bait out at Castaic, you need to. It is such a good bait. Check out my other video at Castaic with the Ned rig, and we killed him on that day. But this bait, it's just a tiny little, it's like 2 inches long, and it's like a little Senko almost. And you put it on this, head. I don't have a head with me, but if you put it on this head, and it just like a little, no one really knows what the fish think it is. I think the bass think it's a little crawfish, but other people say it's a minnow digging in the water. The first way I fish it is the more common way to fish it. And that's just dragging it along the bottom. Every once in a while I'll give it a good hop or a good, it's just like fishing a Texas rig worm. You just maybe give it a little hop and mostly just drag it along the bottom, and you'll just get slammed on it. But the second way I fish this bait, it's kind of my secret way. I just cast it out and I just reel it in like this. Just like a swim bait, just like fishing a swim bait. And for some reason, I've caught multiple fish doing that. And it saved my day. We're fishing a super, super slow day, and I just start reeling that thing in, boom, saves the day. And I forgot to say that my 2 favorite colors to fish with the Ned rig are, the first one's a natural color called just normal green pumpkin, and the second one is a silver in a natural color, which is called the deal, which is a great bait. You saw it in one of my other videos. Okay, this bait, I feel like, is a very secret weapon for me. I barely ever see someone fishing this bait at Castaic, and it's super underrated in my opinion. This bait is the spoon. Now the spoon, I haven't fished it for a long time. Alright, I'm still kind of new to fishing spoons, but my dad has been fishing it a lot. The first fish out that was caught in the spoon was caught on a way bigger one, and it was caught by my dad. And what we were doing to catch the fish on the spoons, we were just driving around trying to mark a school, and once we marked a school on the bottom, we just let it drop all the way to the bottom and be looking at our electronics the whole time. We'd drop it all the way to the bottom, and we just jig it along the bottom, just up, and then follow it down, up, and you get slammed on the way down. Yesterday, we were out fishing at Castaic, and I was jigging. It was super slow. We couldn't find a good pattern of fish on the graph. They weren't where we were seeing them before. Just kind of driving around, cruising around, and we saw a few fish in 30 feet of water on the bottom. And I picked up the spoon and I dropped it straight down there, right on their heads on the graph. And I was jigging, and on the drop, boom, I got pounded. And I set the hook, but I didn't get a good hook set into it. And that's what sucked. I didn't get a good hook set in it, and I lost that fish. That was probably the biggest fish I would have caught at Castaic in a second. I would think it was 3.5 pounds. It felt heavy, and I feel like if me and my dad fish it more, we're gonna catch a big old fish on it, because it catches a lot bigger fish than the Ned rig and the drop shot. It might not catch as many, but it catches bigger fish for sure. And for size, we've been using 2 sizes. We've been using this size, which, I don't know, maybe 4 inches, and the other size, which I think is 6 inches. Personal preference, I like the 4-inch one. I'm not comfortable with really throwing bigger baits, except for my swim bait. I like throwing smaller baits. I feel like they catch more fish. Those are the 3 baits that I like to fish. Those are the 3 baits that I feel like are the most productive baits in the winter. If you have an opinion about another bait that catches more fish than these three? Drop a comment down below. I'd like to see your opinion. I wanted to make a video talking about baits, talking about the slow winter. And I hope this helps you guys catch more fish. If it does, definitely tell me in the comment section. If you disagree with me, I'd love to hear your opinion in the comment section. And I'll see you next episode of Drew Man Fishing. Thank you guys so much for watching, and I'll see you next time. Bye. So I forgot to give you an update on yesterday's fishing. So the water was pretty murky, about 4 foot of visibility. We had 7 bites overall. I didn't connect with any of them. I had 1 bite on the spoon, as you saw. I had 2 bites on a drop shot. My dad, he had 3 bites, and he caught 2 fish. Both of his fish were on the same point in a 5-minute period, both on a drop shot. So I'll see you guys later on Drew Man Fishing. Bye. It's probably my worm snatcher. Oh, that's a pretty big fish.